Joe and I will be taking the next section. Hello, I'm Steve Allender. I'm from Deakin University, based on Wathaurong country. And as you've heard, and as we've learned from our research, we're thinking about obesity and its risks as having multiple drivers driven across multiple sectors of society. So if we were to think about tackling unhealthy diet, for example, we need to think about the whole food system, including agriculture, food processing, marketing, retail, transport, among many other things. And it's for this reason, projects tackling one single aspect of obesity just won't suffice. In fact, we need collaboration and contribution from multiple partners in the health sector, of course, but critically in those sectors beyond health. And the National Obesity Strategy, as Tim just mentioned, frames obesity as a systems challenge, specifically because we need to create healthier and more equitable food systems and a stronger and more equitable physical activity system that deals with this complexity. So while the National Obesity Strategy recognises the complexity is there, we're yet to see action to match this call to arms. Our work with local communities and across multiple layers of government has shown it is possible to actively improve the situation, to actively prevent obesity when collective action is delivered across multiple systems driven through multiple sectors. And I'll hand over to Joe to add some more.
Thanks, Steve. So I'm Jo Mitchell. I was formerly worked in the New South Wales Department of Health. And in my experience of working within government, it's really clear that national leadership and action creates opportunities and momentum for implementing a strategy like the National Obesity Strategy for local departments of health. At a practical level, having the opportunity to learn from the experience of your colleagues from other jurisdictions, as well as contributing to the development of new initiatives, helps you to position your agency's contribution to a broader portfolio of actions. It can also create an environment where you benchmark your agency's approach against others. And this in itself can create some healthy competition, which can reinforce and further drive implementation ambition and impact. So as we've already heard, the National Obesity Strategy is really clear that addressing obesity needs a systems and a multi-stakeholder approach. So this includes community, non-government, academic partners, and it must also include government agencies outside of the health sector. But we know that this has always been a challenging aspect of implementation. One comment that I would make is that when you're inside the tent, so when you work within government, you have a different perspective on implementation. And for our academic, non-government and community partners, the system can be opaque. And so it can be very difficult to see progress on implementation.
Thanks, Joe. And we're in the fortunate position where we have quite a deal of evidence about what it takes to support obesity prevention. We know that successful, sustainable prevention efforts need dedicated resources. They need collaboration with clear objectives, strong policy, governance and communication support, and a capable workforce and community with clear monitoring and reporting of progress and impact. If we activate these elements, we'll foster and encourage learning across jurisdictions, as Joe just mentioned, and shorten the time it takes for us to learn lessons in one place and apply them universally. Critically, piecemeal efforts are counterproductive. They divert our limited resources, they reduce our impact and create discouragement from those key stakeholders who want to help improve the health of our nation. We have a clear opportunity to leverage the National Obesity Strategy and provide bold leadership through which governments can deliver coordinated and collective action. And critically, we can enable significant change. In doing so, in taking this position domestically, Australia has the opportunity to achieve our national strategic goals, but also to demonstrate the global leadership that we've been famous for in the past in improving the health of our population, reducing the risk and the burden of obesity, both for current and future generations.
Right. So just to round off this brief presentation, one of the Obesity Collective's policy asks within the budget submission that we're talking about today asks for investment in leadership and collaboration to support the implementation of the National Obesity Strategy. The strategy does already note that it's important to align with national prevention mechanisms connected to, for example, the National Preventive Health Strategy. This must also consider and establish new ways of supporting system-wide implementation that can build an aligned movement for change and engage stakeholders and build collaborative relationships to get the best value from investment across the board, and also to create more transparency about how the strategy is progressing against its aims, and to provide more opportunities for broader discussion on the gaps and opportunities for implementation. So that's us. So I'll now hand over to the next presenter.